Welcome to the Football Den. I'm your host, Dan, and I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. I told y'all, I made my promise. Finally, we're going back to back. I gave y'all a show Monday. Now I'm giving y'all a show Tuesday. How everybody feeling? Hope everybody feeling good, man. Hope everybody had a great Tuesday. I did. Just got off work. Just ate some good ass pork chops. You know what I'm saying? Some corn and some lima beans. So I'm ready to go. I'm energetic. I'm energized. Ready to give y'all a great show tonight. We got some great topics to talk about. We got after Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks winning the Super Bowl, is Sam Darnold top 10? Is Sam Darnold top 10? I hear a lot of everybody in the media is talking about this. Is Sam Darnold a top 10 quarterback? Some people say no. Some people say yes. I'll give y'all my opinion. We'll talk about Klint Kubiak, who just had his press conference as the new head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders. So we're going to talk about that, the expectations of Klint Kubiak, and what we need to expect from him, and what we should expect from him this season. And you know what I'm saying? Are the expectations high or low? We don't know, but we'll talk about it. Also, we're going to get into Geno Smith's future, because with Klint Kubiak coming in and the Raiders have that number one overall pick, and everybody thinking they're going to get Mendoza, where does that leave Geno Smith? So we're going to get in there too, because he's not Klint Kubiak's guy. Klint Kubiak want a rookie, somebody he can start fresh with. He don't want a veteran Geno Smith. That's Pete Carroll's guy. So we're going to get into that. And also, we're going to end the show off talking about some Sanders. I know it's been a minute since I talked about Shedeur, but we're going to get into Shedeur Sanders, and nothing negative, just the expectations of his 2026 season that's going to be coming up in a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what he do in 2026. But what are the 2026 expectations of Shedeur Sanders? Because it looks like Monken thinks Shedeur is the guy. So we're going to see Shedeur might be the starting quarterback of the 2026 season. And I'm going to give you what I expect from him and what I expect Shedeur his play level should be, in my opinion. What I expect. So I'm just going to give you my expectations for Klint Kubiak, what I think Geno Smith's futures looks like, and the expectations I have for Shedeur going into his 2026 season. And that's the show for tonight, y'all. So rock with me, be with me. Like I said, we got some great topics to talk about. And yeah, like I always say, I don't like to keep y'all waiting, but before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all watch the shorts. Make sure y'all watch the clips. Give me all your feedback, negative, positive. Like I always tell y'all, I love all the feedback. And tell me why. Tell me why you disagree. Tell me why you agree. I love it all and I appreciate it all, bro. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's get right to it, man. First topic of the day. If Sam Darnold, a top 10 quarterback, like I said, everybody's having this conversation everywhere through sports media, all the talk shows, all the sports radio stations, everywhere. People are writing columns. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about this, man. And this is a big discussion after the Super Bowl 60. Is Sam Darnold a top 10 quarterback? And when you look at Sam Darnold's career, I could see why people would say he's not one. But it ain't about what he did in the past. It's what have you done for me lately? If you look at his last 2 years in this league, say what you want. Oh, he had Justin Jefferson. Oh, he had JSN. Say what you want. He threw 35 touchdowns this year for 4,000 yards. He threw 25 touchdowns for 4,000 yards this year. He made 2 back-to-back Pro Bowls, and he's not an alternate. He's not an alternate. When they show the list, if you go on Instagram and you scroll down and look at the Pro Bowlers, he's one of the first 3. He's the first 3 quarterbacks out of the NFC. That means he's a top 3 quarterback out of the NFC. He made the Pro Bowl. He's one of the first 3 guys on that list. That's legitimate. He's not an alternate, somebody that we find out 3 or 4 weeks later who making the Pro Bowl. No, when they called the Pro Bowl, when they announced the Pro Bowl, he was one of the first guys named. So that's legitimate. There's 2 legitimate Pro Bowls. So we have to respect that. 4,000 yards passing back-to-back years. Justin Jefferson, dominant year, made it all pro. JSN, dominant year, made all pro. Super Bowl, went toe-to-toe with Matthew Stafford, threw for 300 and almost 40-plus passing yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Come on, bro. He is top 10. He is top 10. Plus, adding this Super Bowl and not turn the ball over in the Super Bowl, he's top 10. He's top 10. Anybody that doesn't think he's top 10, who will you take over him? Right now, he's in my top 10. And if I can give you just my list off the dome, I would say Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Is my list. Justin Herbert. Who else do I put in there? Justin. I gotta put Justin in there. Justin been balling. Sam Darnold, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. I gotta put Dak in there. Cause Dak, even though they don't win, Dak, he don't play up to competition, bro. Like he just don't. Like Dak, he falls short against higher level competition every year. That's why I gotta put him at 9. And at 10, I'm gonna give it to Jordan Love. 10, I'm gonna give it to Jordan Love. But if you ask me, Sam Darnold right now is 7. Right now, he's 7. I only got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert in front of him. They're the only guys I have in front of him. He's better than everybody else. Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback. He showed this year he wasn't a top 10 quarterback. He was top 10. I got to take him out because he showed me this year he's not. He just showed me he's not. So I don't have Jalen Hurts in there. Jaden Daniels, I don't have him in it. I don't have Caleb Williams in it. Those are one-time guys. They had a one good year. One-hit wonders right now. Right now. They're one-hit wonders right now. Now, they can keep putting out hits, but we got to see it to believe it first. But you got to put respect on Sam Darnold's name, man. Throwing 35 touchdowns is no fluke. To sit there and say, oh, it was a fluke. Oh, he got lucky. How can you throw 35 touchdowns and tell me that's luck? How does that even make sense? I throw 35 touchdowns and that's luck to you? Because you don't like me? Because you still worried about me saying I'm seeing ghosts with the Jets? You still worried about me poo-pooing the bed in Carolina? You still worried about me being the backup for Brock Purdy in 2023? What about my 2024 year? What about my 2025 year? Oh, I had 2 bad games the end of 2024 year. Oh, he's still the same Sam Darnold. So we're going to forget about the whole year because of 2 bad games in the season? Yes, they were the most important games of the season were the last 2 games to win your division and the playoff game. And he didn't look good. He didn't play well. But you also got to put some blame on the O-line. The O-line wasn't good as well either. They weren't good. They were terrible too. So you gotta hold everybody accountable. But to sit here and make it seem like Sam Darnold's not a top 10 quarterback because, oh, he got carried. The defense is good. He still threw for 4,000 yards, bro. JSN, who's throwing JSN the ball? We act like JSN is just it's like a machine shooting the ball and he just catching it. You know how good you got to be as a quarterback to have a receiver go for 1,700 receiving yards? You know how good you got to be? You know how good you got to be as a quarterback to have a receiver go over like 1,400 receiving yards? Like Justin Jefferson last year, now 1,700 in JSN. You know how good you got to be as a quarterback? I don't know too many sorry quarterbacks, receivers putting up 1,600, 1,700 yards, bro. I just don't know too many people doing that. I'm just sorry, bro. If y'all know some names, let me know. But when you seeing receivers have over 1,700 receiving yards, that means the person throwing them the ball is pretty good. And Sam Darnold is pretty good. I only have 6 guys in front of him. Everybody else, I think he's better than. He's shown the last 2 years he's better than them. Period, point blank. And yes, does he have moments where he looked like the old Sam Darnold? Yes, but all quarterbacks have bad stints, bro, through the season. Some guys have back-to-back weeks where they just play terrible. But to sit here and make it seem like Sam Darnold hasn't played his butt off these last 2 seasons, basically throwing for 8,000 yards in 2 seasons already. Almost close to 10,000 yards in the last 2 seasons. Are we going to poo-poo that because we still thinking about the Jets? Because we still thinking about Carolina? Because we still thinking about being the backup to Brock Purdy? That's crazy to me, bro. How about you judge me based on what I've done? And to just poo-poo me because, oh, you had 2 bad games. Your bad games were the last 2 games of the season. So we're going to judge you on that because, it's still Sam Darnold. But we're not going to talk about you going 14-3. We're not going to talk about you winning 14 games back-to-back. Oh, he didn't do that. How he didn't do it throwing 35 touchdowns, bro? I throw 35 touchdowns and I didn't do nothing. How does that even make sense? He threw 10,000. He threw 10 touchdowns less. He had 10 touchdowns less than last year. And he still threw for 4,000 yards, bro. And even better, JSN went for 1,700 receiving yards. And we still poo-pooing this dude. He threw less touchdowns this year than last year and still put up 4,000 yards and still had an offensive player of the year in JSN, who's he's throwing him the ball. He's consistently throwing this guy the ball, throwing him open, putting him in position to make plays. Throwing him in the ball in an open field so he can make guys miss and go score a touchdown and get some more yards. That's Sam Darnold. So I'm just sorry, bro. Sam, you gotta put if Sam Darnold not in your top 10, bro, and you telling me Jalen Hurts Jalen Hurts made an all-pro. Bro. Come on, bro. Jalen Hurts threw for like what? 22 touchdowns that year and a whole bunch of tush pushes, and you telling me, oh, they're all pro. What about the other years, bro? I do the same thing for Eli Manning, bro. Y'all talk about 2 years of Eli Manning's career and make it seem like that's good. No, bro. Jalen Hurts hasn't been consistent. When is he going to start being consistent? Oh, he had 2 good Super Bowl games. What about the whole year, though? All that matters Super Bowl. Yeah, all that matters Super Bowl in that year. But that doesn't matter. That's not the all be all when it comes to your career. If that's the case, Jim Plunkett will be in the Hall of Fame. Sam Darnold had 2 great years, in my opinion. 2 great. Throwing for 4,000 yards is a great season. Because everybody not doing that. Everybody not doing that, bro. With all the dinking and dunking we seeing, everybody not throwing for 4,000 yards. So for him to do that back-to-back years, and he was just a backup in 2023, and we making it seem like he's not a top 10 player, and he done won about 30 plus games in 2 seasons. Like, come on, bro, get a man a chance, bro. Like, be fair. We not being fair. We picking and choosing. Oh no, because he had his last. What about that wild card game? What about the whole season? What about the last game of the season in 2024? What about the whole season? What about the game against the Falcons in 2024? What about the game against the 49ers? What about it? Come on, bro. Even this year, he had some good games. So, like, man, stop it, bro. Sam Darnold to me is a top 10 dude. And like, people act like we act like we saying Sam Darnold is elite. I'm not saying he's elite, but he's a top 10. Everybody in the top 10 not elite. They good to great. But right now, you look at the quarterbacks that we have in this league, there's no way you telling me Sam Darnold he's not a top 10 guy. All the dinking and dunking we saying, he's throwing the ball down the field. You got to throw the ball down the field for your receiver to have 1,700 receiving yards. So to sit there and make it seem like this dude is being carried by a wide receiver who he has to throw the ball to, and a defense that cooled in a great defense is insane when most quarterbacks that win Super Bowls have great defenses. I just don't get it. He has a historic defense. I give him this credit when it comes to the blitzing and scheming you up. Historically, this was a great defense, the dark side. But, man, stop it. Like, Sam Darnold is elite. And I'm not, my bad. Sam Darnold is a good quarterback and is a top 10 quarterback. And he can keep building on this. He can keep building on his resume. He can keep building, but I know a lot of y'all gonna keep poo-pooing. Y'all love to keep poo-pooing this man. It's like y'all hating on this man. I don't get it, bro. You keep worrying about him in the Jets, bro. That's long ago. Long time ago, bro. He hasn't played in the Jets in like 6 years, and we keep talking about the Jets. The man ain't played with the Jets since 2020, and we keep talking about, the Jets. Bro. He don't play for the Jets no more. He don't play with Carolina no more. We know what happened in Carolina. He can't redeem himself. And to me, he has redeemed himself. And he looked pretty good. And let's say he go next year and they win. Let's say that they probably won't win 14 games. Because teams now, they know about them. The team's gonna be prepared for next year. Because now you're the champs now. So now everybody is gonna test you. You're gonna get everybody best a great game every time through 2026. And I think Seattle will be prepared because everybody on their defense coming back, to be honest with you. There ain't a lot of guys leaving. Most of those guys, they got on contract for multiple years. So they good when it comes to the defense. Sam, is a good quarterback, man. And like I say, if he can keep throwing for 4,000 yards, like he's normally, like to me, it comes natural to him throwing 4,000 yards. He's done it back-to-back years, so he's shown he's capable of throwing 4,000 yards. He's showing that he's capable of throwing from 25 to 35 touchdowns. So he's showing you can throw 30 plus touchdowns in the season. He can do that again. Now we need to dial back those turnovers. We do need to dial back those turnovers. I will say that. I want to go. Like, can we go from 15, 14? Can we just go? Can I get? Let me get 9 and 10. I do 9 and 10. You can get into double digits. Can we get 9 and 10 though, bro? I can't have you throwing 14 to 15 interceptions. We can't have that. Let's bring it down a little bit. But if he does that he just does that consistently, then what we talking about? He top 5 then, and they keep winning, and they making deep playoff runs. Sam Darnold, top 5 quarterback. So we got to give bro some credit, bro. It's hard to throw 4,000 yards in this league, and to poo-poo that because he don't have the game that you think he should have in the playoffs, or you think that he's getting carried, bro. The stats don't lie. The stats don't. I'm saying Justin Jefferson had like 1,500 receiving yards with Sam Darnold. Somebody got to throw the ball, and somebody got to do it with time, and they got to be accurate and all that to put you in position to succeed as a wide receiver. And he's done that for JJ, and that's why he was on Justin Jefferson. That's why Jetta was mad this year, because couldn't emulate what Sam Darnold did. JJ McCarthy couldn't do what Sam Darnold did, and Jefferson was pissed off about it. JSN, say what you want about Geno. I think Geno's a pretty good quarterback. I think the Raiders lied to everybody and told them they had a good wide receiving core, and they didn't. And it ended up costing Geno his job and him having a terrible season. But he didn't do what Sam Darnold just did with JSN. JSN did have over 1,000 yards last year. I give you that. But come on, 1,700? Come on, bro. You can't tell me you saw JSN being an all-pro winning offensive player of the year. You didn't see that in him, bro, until this year because of Sam Darnold. So like I'm saying, Sam Darnold to me is a top 10 quarterback. I just told you everything. I gave you all the facts. I gave you all the data. Anybody that is trying to rebuttal what I'm saying to me, bro, you just talking. Respectfully, you just talking. He is a top quarterback. Every place he's going, he gets the best out of his receivers. And the guys, they make all pros, first team all pros at that, and they can win an offensive player of the year. So shout out to JSN, and I feel bad for you, Jetta. Hopefully JJ McCarthy turning around. But Sam Darnold has proven that he's a top 10 quarterback based on these last 2 seasons, and winning the Super Bowl is like the cherry on top. So that's my thoughts on that. Moving on. There's a new head coach, new sheriff of town in Las Vegas for the Raiders, and your new head coach will be the Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator, Seattle Seahawks, and Klint Kubiak, son of Gary Kubiak, the former head coach of the Houston Texans and Super Bowl winning Denver Broncos, Super Bowl 50. So the bloodline continues in the NFL for the Kubiak family. And we've seen what Klint Kubiak can do as an offensive mind, scheme up plays, you know what I'm saying, put his quarterback in position to where they can succeed, man, make it easy on the quarterback, get the ball out of his hands, but also take shots too and believe in your quarterback to make the right pass when it comes to throwing the ball deep in coverage and throwing the ball in tight windows. So Klint Kubiak has shown that he can be a great offensive mind, and hopefully he's coming to the Raiders to call plays because they hired you because you're offensive mind. They didn't hire you to be the guy that brings an offensive coordinator that call plays. They hired you specifically because they believe that you being an offensive-minded guy, they can use that and you can help the Raiders get back to the promised land like they were, let's say, since 2002, making a Super Bowl. And I believe with the talent they have around, I think Klint Kubiak can do something with the talent. You know what I'm saying? They probably will get from Fernando Mendoza as your quarterback, but you have the Brock Bowers of the world. You have the Ashton Genties of the world, you know, but you have to boost up that O-line. That O-line is terrible. And if you want Mendoza to hold up for these 18 games, 17 games, he's going to need to stay healthy. And you're going to need to improve that O-line. I don't know how much money the Raiders have. I think they have a lot of money going in free agency. So you got to pay guys. You got to do what the Chicago Bears did. You got to do it in Chicago, but you got to do it the rookie year, not the sophomore year. You got to do it in the rookie year. You got to go spend and have an expensive offensive line to hold up for your rookie quarterback and see if y'all can make a run at making the playoffs. or at least going from winning only 2 or 3 games for the last couple of years to a team that we look at winning 7 to 8 games. Or she'll have a winning season the first year and win 9 games. Then that sophomore, you take a next step. Now we thinking, okay, the Raiders can make the playoffs. But I think with the weapons around, they can do something. But you got to improve the O-line. You have to improve the receiving core. The receiving core is not good, man. They lied and told us all offseason of the 2025 offseason that, oh, the receiving core, the Raiders, look out. They got some weapons. And Geno had nobody to throw it to. He literally had nobody to throw the ball to at all, bro. That wide receiver core of the Raiders was terrible. They had Trey Tucker, number 11. He was the only guy that was getting separation and catching the passes and getting Geno looks so Geno could be comfortable throwing him the ball. Everybody else made Geno uncomfortable because they could not get open. And he didn't want to throw them the ball. And he had to force a lot of passes because guys couldn't get separation. That's what we saw all last year, bro. That's what we saw from the Raiders. People make it seem like Geno Smith is washed. I don't believe that he's washed. This season, based on the narrative of them getting a quarterback, is going to be seen like that he's washed. And based on them paying all the money, and you only win by 3 or 4 games, people are going to look at it like, oh, it was a bad signing, bad trade, and it's a loss. But to me, I just feel like you didn't prepare Geno Smith to succeed based on what you got from the wide receiver room. The wide receiver room was terrible. We only got one wide receiver that can get open, and your best player, a tight end, it's unacceptable. Because you're trying to, and I understand trying to give young guys the chance, young guys in that wide receiver room chances, not trying to invest too much money into the wide receiver room. Let's get these guys. Let's see, is there somebody in this wide receiver room that can stand out and be the number one guy? And nobody showed that, in my opinion. We didn't see it at all. Nobody showed in the wide receiver room that they could be the number one guy for the Las Vegas Raiders. So you gotta this offseason and in the draft, you gotta mix it up. Go get some wide receivers in the second day of the draft. This third or second or third. There's gonna be some guys there. You know what I'm saying? You can't never go wrong getting some wide receivers any time of the draft. It's the first day, second day, or the third day. So you might find a one in the second round. You might get to pick up 2 just to boast that room and go younger. Then go get you a veteran or go find somebody who want to get paid. Go find somebody. Go trade for somebody. You got the money. You got the picks. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of Max Cosby, him telling Tom Brady reports that he don't want to play with Raiders no more. Go trade him. Go get you 2 picks. You know what I'm saying? A player. Trust me, with Max Cosby, how dominant he was, him making the Pro Bowl this year too, and how he's always going to jump off the screen, you can get 2 first-round picks and a player. I'm telling you, you can get 2 first-round picks and a player if you're Las Vegas Raiders, if you trade Max Cosby. But it depends on who you trade him to. It depends on who want him. Because I'm going to say this. If I trade Max Cosby to the Cowboys, I want CeeDee Lamb. If I'm the Raiders, I want CeeDee Lamb. I want George Pickens or I want CeeDee Lamb. So you might well let George, like, that's how I'm looking at it. If I trade him to the Eagles, I want A.J. Brown. If I trade him to the Vikings, I want Justin Jefferson. Just keep it 100. Like, I need somebody. You got to give me something. I need some conversation. I'm saying, bro, it got to be the right deal that benefits me. And if I'm gonna trade Max Cosby, our cornerstone on defense, you know what I'm saying, the best player on the team, no matter what, I need a veteran or star wide receiver to bolster up my wide receiver room with the young guys that I have already. So that's what I would do. Like I said, I think Klint Kubiak, I think he can be a good coach. It's going to be tough, you know what I'm saying, because you are in the AFC West and you're going against 3 legendary head coaches, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, and Sean Payton. But like I say, if he could get the most out of the young talent and bring in some talent and have an expensive O-line to keep Mendoza up if they draft him number 1 overall pick, they can win a couple of games in their first year. Like I said, to win 7 to 8 games. Then next year, the expectation for their sophomore year, can they make that next step and go get the playoffs? And I think they can. But you got to be able to have an O-line that can hold up and have wide receivers that can get separation, beat their man, so Mendoza can throw them the ball and we can make plays and get down the field. And if you don't have that, it's just going to be Mendoza throwing picks because nobody can get open. And the difference is it's just going to be the same shit, same BS of the quarterbacks nobody's going to get open, so the quarterback got to force things, and it's going to look bad. It's going to look as bad as Geno Smith because Mendoza's a rookie. So he's going to make rookie mistakes on top of the mistakes he's going to make because the team is terrible. But that's all depending on what Klint Kubiak does during his offseason. Are you going to boost this O-line up? Are you going to boost your wide receiver room up? Are you going to trade Max Cosby to gain some conversation to boost those two rooms up? But everywhere else, I think they're pretty good at. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the offense. Defensively, we'll talk about the Raiders defensively going down the line. But right now, I'm just talking about just Klint Kubiak. Since he's an offensive-minded guy, the offense has to be better because that's what they're bringing you in there for. And if he can get the most out of those players, especially Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers, and more pieces on with the Mendoza, I think the Raiders are a team that people will fear. I think it's a team that people have to worry about because, like I say, if they can just keep Mendoza up and have an O-line that could get pressure, have an O-line that can get some push, so with Ashton Genty, he's not getting hit behind the line of scrimmage every goddamn play. He is not getting hit in the backfield every play. He can have some holes where he could burst through, and then we can actually see him play dominant, look like Ashton that we saw at Boise State. And then we can have an O-line that can hold up to where Brock Bowers could put up more dominant numbers. He put up dominant numbers with a terrible O-line blocking for his quarterback in the past. Now think about it, the O-line can block. And now he got a quarterback that can throw him the ball consistently. Now he probably put up better numbers than he did his rookie year. So it's like I said, it's so many things that can go on for the Raiders, though. But they got to get their O-line fixed, and they have to get the wide receiver room fixed. Because if you don't, bro, it's going to be the same thing. It doesn't matter who the coach is. It's going to be the same thing. It don't matter if it's Pierce, Pete Carroll, or Kubiak. You're going to suck. So that's my thoughts on that. Next topic, following that, is Geno Smith. What's his future? And I think Geno Smith left a bad taste in all of the NFL and general manager's mouth with this season, this performance. And to be honest with you, bro, if you're talking about if we trying to put blame, 100% blame, we look at the 100%, I only can really put about 30% on Geno. I could put 30% on Geno. 70% is on the Raiders and the wide receiver room. The wide receiver room was terrible, man. He said, "Hey, what's up, John Hobbs? 7697." He said, "Hey, I'm a Seahawks fan. I feel a little bad for the Raiders fan. They were always a very loyal fan base. I hope Klint can make improvements. I wish you guys the best of luck." See, I'm not even a Raiders fan, bro. I'm really a Falcon fan, but it's the off season, so we just got to find things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? That's important. That's coming up. And since the Raiders have number one overall pick, they're going to be a team that we talk about majority of the time going into the draft. So that's why I'm talking about them. And he said, "Yes, you're right. You got to make personnel improvements." They do, bro. They do. They do. And one of the personnel improvements is going to be with Geno Smith, getting rid of him. You paying him so much money, but I think they'll cut him and they'll just have to just deal with that dead money. They're gonna have to deal with it, bro. They don't want to, but and like I said, I don't think Geno even played that bad, John. I don't think he played that bad. I think he had a terrible receiver core. He had to force a lot of things, bro, to keep his team in the games. And him forcing all those things cost a lot of turnovers. But can you blame him? When your wide receiver core is that bad, can you really blame Geno for forcing a lot of these passes? They couldn't get a running game going. Ashton Genty kept getting hit in the backfield. The O-line was terrible. So he really couldn't do nothing. In my opinion, if I'm the Raiders, I wouldn't even draft Mendoza. But I know they're going to draft Mendoza, though, because Geno Smith is not Klint Kubiak's guy. And trust me, Klint Kubiak took this job to get his own quarterback, not to play Geno Smith. Geno Smith was brought there to be Pete Carroll's guy for the long term, for at least 2 to 3 years. And after 1 year, the Raiders said they seen enough. And that's basically what happened. You know, and like I said, I think Geno could go somewhere else and be a bridge quarterback. Let's say Aaron Rodgers don't want to come back. Let's just say hypothetically Aaron Rodgers don't want to come back. So if I'm the Steelers, I go get Geno. He's played with DK, so him and DK, they have some familiarity. Then you look at the system. I think him and Mike McCarthy, I think he'll be good in Mike McCarthy's system. I think he could throw for late like 3,800 to 4,000 yards in the season under Mike McCarthy. I think they'll have a pretty good season. You know what I'm saying? But offensive line is very important. You got to protect your quarterback and improve the run game. Yes, you do, bro. You do. And that was one of the Raiders' problems, bro. They couldn't do that. They couldn't do that, bro. And Ashton Genty had to be Barry Sanders just to get 2-3 yards every play. And when you're doing that, and then like the media, they not fair. They gonna sit there and just say Ashton Genty suck instead of not and putting everything in the context and saying, no, he don't suck. His O-line sucks. And if you don't have a good O-line that can get you just a little bit of some leverage to push up the field, what can you really do? You're gonna keep being in the backfield. You're only gonna keep getting 2 or 3 yards a carry. But when you have O-line that can get that push, but then you can rush you can have 5 yards to carry. You can have 6 yards to carry. You can make some plays as a running back. Get into open space and make somebody miss to score a touchdown. But when you're getting hit in the backfield every play and you got to be Barry Sanders just to get 2 to 3 yards, like, bro, like, how can we blame Ashton Genty? He said actually the best thing for the Seahawks was when they traded Russell Wilson. They got so many extra draft picks with that. Yeah, bro, they robbed Denver Broncos. You ain't lying about that. They did rob the Denver Broncos. You ain't lying about that. But yeah, with Geno, bro, I just think with Geno, I can see him going to Pittsburgh. I can see him going to Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Arizona, they want to get rid of Kyler Murray. I can see him going to the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? I think Geno is somebody that he could turn it around, bro, if you put the right pieces around him, bro. I can see him going to Green Bay. Not Green. I can see him going to the Packers. The Packers O-line isn't that bad. They held up for Aaron Rodgers. I think I can see Geno going, and Geno, he's way more mobile. He's younger than Aaron Rodgers. He can run around too. I know he's like 35, 36, but he's still mobile enough to get first down with his legs. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers was scared to run. You know what I'm saying? That's why he just stood in the pocket. He stood in the pocket, and if it wasn't there, he just threw it on the ground. Geno, he can actually run and get you a couple of first down, even being 36 or 37 years old. So you still have that aspect of Geno can run around. So I can see Geno still being a starter going into 2026. But that, to me, that's all if Aaron Rodgers don't come back for the Steelers. I only think the Steelers is the only team that'll give Geno a shot. I think the Steelers is the only team, but he has to be released. They're not trading for him. He has to be cut by the Raiders, and I can see the Steelers going to grab him just for a year. Just for a year. Just see what happens. First year under Mike McCarthy. If they suck, then you draft the quarterback next year. If you're successful, then you just keep it going. He's a veteran. You keep it going, and now you just build around that team and try to put some pieces around. But you also still draft a quarterback because Geno is showing you he's not consistent year after year to where that he could be your starter. He could be your quarterback of the future. So you still gonna have to put somebody behind him to make him to show him like time is ticking, my boy. Do something. We gave you a year, you look good, but we just can't depend on every year that you're gonna be dominant because you're already 35, 36 years old. So we got to prepare for your departure. But that's it. That's the only team I can see for Geno right now. That's the only team, because right now, if you listen to the media, he's washed. He sucks. He's one of the main reasons why the Raiders only won about 3 or 4 games this year. And if you really watch the Raider games like I did, and I'm not even a Raiders fan, the Raiders O-line was terrible. And number 10, who they told us was going to have a breakout year, Trey Tucker, who they got Trey Tucker right, but they got everybody else wrong. And Brock Bowers, look at Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers still made the Pro Bowl, but he could have put up way better numbers, similar to what he did his rookie year if his O-line would have held up, and they didn't. And it made Geno look bad and it affected Geno's play. So that's my thoughts on just Geno overall. I just feel like they didn't do Geno justice by they set Geno up for failure, bro. You should have invested in your O-line. And to be honest, you should invest in your O-line, and you should invest in your wide receiver core. You didn't do that. You just thought we got these young guys, let's see what they do, and it didn't do nothing. He said Geno was a decent quarterback when he played for the Seahawks. He could run, but you're right. He's getting older and things slow down. Yeah, man. Yeah, John. I just don't I would give him a year or 2 if I'm a Steelers, if Aaron Rodgers don't come back. But besides that, that's all I can really give Geno, man. Because after they made the 2021 playoffs, remember, 2022, people thought, oh, the Seahawks are going to be legit. And they were just average. Geno, to me, showed you what as far as he can take you. Geno can get you to at least 9 to 10 games and the exit out in the first round. Anything else, I don't see it. But Geno has shown that he could get you at least 9 to 10 games out the season. And besides that, there's nothing else he can really do for you. For real, bro. And I wouldn't invest everything into Geno. I just wouldn't do it, bro. I wouldn't. You got to draft a quarterback. Even if, like I say, if you take them to the playoffs next year, you still got to draft a quarterback, bro. Because based on his history, he's going to be inconsistent that second year. Because it's like the league figures him out again. Like he'll come out, he'll dominate. You'll be like, okay, Geno. The next year, it's like he get figured out again, and they stop him, and he's average. So that's my thoughts on that. And then let's get to this last topic. Everybody love when I talk about Shedeur Sanders, man. We got to get in Shedeur Sanders, man. The Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, the 5th round pick of the Cleveland Browns. What my boy say? He said, well, right now life is good and the good guys won the Super Bowl. The Hawks defense is just stifling, a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, I agree with you on that. My brother. Shedeur Sanders. Look, man. This ain't nothing negative on Shedeur. I ain't finna even talk bad on Shedeur. This is really something positive. I want to speak positive. I'm gonna give you my expectations for Shedeur in 2026. And to be honest with you, bro, I think that Cleveland O-line, the Cleveland O-line, you have to build that up. You have to improve that. Similar to the Raiders, I'm going to say the same thing. You have to improve the O-line. The difference between the O-line of the Raiders and the O-line of the Cleveland Browns, the Raiders O-line has never been good. Cleveland O-line, 4 years ago, we were talking about them being a top 3 O-line in the NFL, up there with the Colts. That's how we was talking about them. And to watch those guys age in front of our eyes and watch how now a lot of those guys, bro, they're just old and they're probably their last year in this league was this last season. You gotta invest into this O-line. You gotta invest. You got a rookie quarterback. I know you got some money and you got some money. So you gotta invest. You might not be able to get an expensive O-line, but you need a veteran O-line, bro, that can hold up for your for your second-year quarterback in Shedeur. I think Shedeur will probably start. Todd Monken, he wanted Shedeur, you know what I'm saying, as the backup to Lamar, and now he's going in as the Cleveland Brown head coach. He wants Shedeur as his starting quarterback. I think the Cleveland has given up on Deshaun Watson. I think they say stuff just so they won't get no like buzz or no heat in the media talking about Deshaun, because they don't want Deshaun to be the news, bro. They're not trying to make Deshaun Watson. They're not trying to make him the guy that they bring attention to. They're not trying to bring no attention to Deshaun Watson. They want him to be a ghost. They want all the Deshaun attention to be ghost. You know what I'm saying? All last couple of years, we've seen that all this noise been on Deshaun Watson when it comes to masseuses and all that stuff. And I think when you look at Cleveland, bro, they want to blow all that. They want to push all that away. They want to push all the Deshaun Watson noise away. How do you do that? Start Shedeur Sanders. Now you're going to get the primetime noise. But right now, to be honest with you, the primetime noise and everybody talking about why you don't do this shit for Shedeur. You're the reason why Shedeur sucks. Shedeur threw 3 interceptions, but it's your fault that he threw 3 interceptions. They rather deal with that than, why Deshaun Watson doing that stuff with the masseuses? Why he walking around butt naked with the masseuses? Why he booted butt naked talking about he want a massage when they walking in the room? That's what they rather deal with the noise of just football, or it's your guy's fault that he sucked, than butt naked Deshaun Watson getting sued by all these women because he want to have his ding-a-lang out while he get massage when he really he ain't trying to get no massage, trying to get some, but he doing it in the one of the most creepiest ways ever, with just being butt naked and standing in the room. This is what these women saying, man. This is just the facts of what they saying. He was out there booted butt naked, trying to get massages. And the Cleveland Browns, they done with that. They done with booted butt naked Deshaun Watson. They want to deal with it's your fault, Shedeur Sanders audience. And that's what it is. And my expectation for Shedeur, to be honest with you, I think Shedeur will throw for 20 plus touchdowns next year. I think in Todd Monken's offense, he would throw for 25 touchdowns next year, 25 plus touchdowns next year. I'm calling it already. I know y'all saying, Dan, you just said that he wasn't even good last year. He's proving me wrong. I said I eat crow. He's proving me wrong. I think Shedeur could be a 25 plus touchdown passer next year. I think he throw for at least 30,000 yards, 25 to 28 touchdowns. But here's the kicker. I think he throws a lot of interceptions. Because I think Cleveland's going to be in a lot of tight games next year because they have a tough schedule. Their schedule will be tough next year. I saw some of those teams. I don't know where it ranks when you're comparing to every team in the NFL. But Cleveland has a pretty tough schedule. I think he's going to throw at least, in my opinion, 10 to 14 interceptions. But he's going to throw 25 touchdowns, and he's going to throw over 3,000 yards. And for a guy in his second year, but he's starting all year, I think that's pretty good. That's what Sam Darnold did. I think that's pretty good for Shedeur Sanders, bro. I think he's good. He said he is young. I agree, bro. See, I was a hater, John. I hate it. I'm not cap. I was a hater because I thought he was overrated, bro. I thought people, they were just overrating him, man. In my opinion, I just felt like the league was basically telling you they don't think he's that good. And everybody else trying to tell the league, a whole bunch of scouts that watch film on a daily basis, they eat, sleep work, film every day, and you're trying to tell them that this guy's good, this guy's good, and they were just telling you like, nah, he's good, but he's not that good. He's not that good. He's not the hype that everybody's trying to push him out to be. He's not that guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, Eli Manning them, like they trying to compare this dude to Eli and John Elway, and people don't care about that, bro. People don't care about that, bro. You can't compare him to people that, if you look at when they were drafted or their prospect pre-draft, these guys were number one prospect, number one quarterback. And we're comparing number one prospect, number one quarterback to top 20, top 30 prospect to a top 3 quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So you can't compare that, bro. So that was only my issue with him, bro. He said I don't watch him, but I do remember people talking about how accurate. Yeah, he's accurate, bro. But one thing about, he holds the ball too long. He holds the ball too long, and instead of stepping up in the pocket, he backs up too much. And now when you get sacked, that's a 10-yard loss. 17-yard loss because he keep backing up instead of stepping in the pocket. He backs up too much, bro. And teams look at that, and he doesn't have a strong arm. If you watch that Chicago Bears game, that showed you he doesn't have a strong arm. The Chicago Bears proved the notion that Shedeur has a strong arm. It was factual. If you watch that Chicago Bears game, that proved that fact, John. So that's how I look at it. Like I said, I don't have no issue with Shedeur. Like I said, I think he'll throw for 3,000 yards. I think he'll throw for 25 plus touchdowns. I think he'll throw at least 10 to 14 plus interceptions. And for a sophomore year, and with the defense of Myles Garrett, I can see the Cleveland Browns going 8-9 and Todd Monken first year. I know it's not a winning record, but it's progress. It's progress. You know what I'm saying? It's progress. And that's really it. That's really it for Shedeur, bro. That's really it. You know what I'm saying? Anything else than that, bro, I think he'll get benched, bro. If he can't be that productive, then I think he'll get benched. If we look up, it's 6 weeks through the 2026 season, and he has more interceptions and touchdowns, I think Todd Monken will probably bench him and put Deshaun Watson, what I'm saying, booty butt naked Deshaun Watson in there so he could play. And Mr. Time is over. So that's how I look at it, bro. Like he is accurate, and I think I think him being accurate will get him the starting job. But he got to keep the starting job by not backpedaling. And I think Todd Monken to get on him about that, bro. Stop doing that, bro. You're not athletic enough to do that. You're not athletic enough to just be running, trying to back up. You're not who you think you are, Kyler Murray? You're not Lamar Jackson. You're not Kyler Murray. You're not Josh Allen. Step your ass in the pocket or just take the sack or throw the ball away. Stop doing too much. And I think Todd Monken to fix that. And hopefully he'll listen and do what he needs to do to be the starting quarterback and help Cleveland win some games. Like I said, 8-9, that's improvement. That's improvement. I know Myles Garrett to be pissed off because he's not in the playoff again, but that's improvement for the Cleveland Browns after winning only like 5-6 games last year. So that's my thoughts on that. And that's the show today, man. That's the show today. Y'all, I'm happy we got through all the topics. I appreciate everybody that rocked with me. I appreciate you, John Hobb 7697. Appreciate you giving me some comments and, man, coming in here, commenting up the video for me. The stream for me, man. I appreciate all your comments and everything that you said too, bro. I appreciate you for that. Appreciate everybody else that came in to watch the pod. I will be back tomorrow. We will be on it Be Like That channel. We're gonna talk about Ja Rule and the 50 Cent situation. But we also will be on the football den. Also, we got some more things to talk about. We're gonna talk about the Falcons. So we will talk about the Falcons. We will talk about Kyle Pitts. Should the Falcons keep Kyle Pitts? So that's a topic that we'll talk about tomorrow. We'll also talk about the Chiefs. We will actually talk about the Chiefs. Will the Chiefs return to the playoffs next year? And y'all gonna want to hear my take. So based on the teams and how a lot of these teams are gonna load up, I don't know. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. And we're also gonna get into the 2027 Pro Football Hall of Fame. My early prediction. I know I talked about it last episode or 2 episodes before, but I'll get into that too because we got some names: Big Ben, Gronk, Adrian Peterson, and Antonio Brown. So y'all be on the lookout for that tomorrow. I will go live tomorrow, talk about that, but we'll be doing 2 pods tomorrow. It'd be like that, talking about non-football things. Then we'll be on the football, then talking about all football things. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate you, John, for your comments. Appreciate everybody that rocked with me today. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. We'll get the clips out. We'll get the shorts out. Like I tell y'all, comment. If you don't like what I'm saying, let me know. If you do like what I'm saying, let me know. I appreciate it all. I appreciate all the feedback. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's the Football Den, and we out.